Hello and welcome to Chris's Retro Corner. I'm Chris, this is my Retro Corner, and this is my Commodore Plus 4. We had a look at this in the previous video. We know it's not working. I do want to get it up and working. First thing I need to do is get some power into it. If we have a look at the back here, we can see that the power socket is of the 4-pin variety. Now, looking about online, there's a few other people that have done some very good videos. Jan Vita, Adrian's Digital Basement being two of them. So what I'm looking at doing is taking a Commodore 64 power socket and swap it out for the original. A little bit of information on the Commodore Plus 4. They're actually built in mid-1984, so as of the date of this video, that's 36 years ago, but they were only discontinued the following year in 1985. They were designed to be for the slightly more serious home computer user, and as such came with 4 pieces of software built in ROM: a word processor, spreadsheet, graphics application and database. And whereas they share some similarities with the Commodore 64, it's not too many. Unfortunately, the TED chip and the CPU tend to go more often than not on these computers. Both have worked quite hard. So once we've got power into this device, then we can start troubleshooting. So let's get on with it and open her up. This is the first time I've opened up this computer. It's the first time I've looked inside a Plus 4. Let's see what we'll find. Being ever so careful, just in case the keyboard connector is not attached. There we go. So the keyboard's not plugged into the to the connector on the motherboard there. These can be a little fragile, so I will be trying to be as careful as I possibly can. It does look, however, that transistor there has put a bit of a bump. Put a bit of a bump in that strip. Yeah. Okay, we'll pop that to one side for now and concentrate on taking the board out. One more, just there. Quick handy tip: if you put a very small magnet on your screwdriver. Hopefully the little screws won't get away from you when you take them out. There we go. See, makes life a little easier. It does look like that's everything there. Got no idea what these yellow marks are. I'll tell you what, let's have a slightly closer look. Quite a compact board. Right. Let's see if that was it. Looks like it is. And there we go. And it's out. That's the board. That was really quick. Very quick and easy. Hopefully the rest of changing that socket there will be just as quick and easy. I bet it won't be, but it'd be nice to think that it will. There we go. The board is in very nice nick. Doesn't look like it's been tampered around with too much. So this is our power socket here. This is what we're looking to replace. Hopefully we've got the right number of holes here for that. So this is our socket. This is what we're hoping to put in there. I'm not entirely convinced it is. It looks like I've got an extra pin there, so I will have to look that up. You'll have to excuse the jump cut at some point in the very near future, as I have a quick look and see whether or not we really do need that pin. Okay. Let's have a quick look around the board. Looks like the fuse is intact. I shall test that before we pop it on. For the time being, we will just move that ceramic capacitor out of the way. For the time being, we just need to get that changed over. So let's see if we can get this socket off the board. can see, it's starting to lift away. We're getting there. Slow but steady perseverance. Look. Oh, just being held on by that one corner. There we go. And that's out. So let's have a little look and compare these two. So this is the one that's just come out. That's the one that's going in. It's really very close. Pins between them. But it does look like I need to do just a little bit of work and a little bit of double checking to make sure that my new connector is going to marry up properly. So let's clear up where the old socket came out of. So let's have a first look at our new connector. I can't imagine it's going to drop straight in just first go. We know about that pin. We know about that pin there. Looks like we've got another one. Probably that pin there. Definitely need a good check. Yeah, it's not going to go in. It's symmetrical, so we'd be able to see from this side if you go in. And we've definitely got a few pins that aren't going to make contact. So I'll have a quick look and see what I can find out online. So, after a little bit of finding out, there's a few things I need to do. So, firstly, we need to remove a couple of pins from the socket. Namely, this one here. So let's take that off flush. There's one. And then also this one just here. So we'll take that one off as well. A little bit more awkward, this one. And there we go. Just tidy that up a little bit. can. That one too. Not too bad. So what we're also going to need to do is make a hole for that pen there. That's stopping us mounting that. So what we need to do is, if we can, mark the centre pin here as much as we can. We're going to try this with pencil and see if it works. Had a quick look on a website, and according to hackjunk.com, I'll post a link in the description, this might be a reasonable way of marking where we need to drill the hole. So we'll get this aligned, and then we'll apply a little bit of pressure. And we can see we've got a nice mark where we need to drill the hole. Those of you of a nervous disposition, I'd say you'd probably want to look away about now. Need something underneath there just to make sure. Almost. Lovely. So we're going to go through just there. Feeling quite nervous, I'll be honest. Let's mark that one more time. Measure twice, cut once. Yep, looks like it's pretty good. Just give that a little bit of a pilot just to start it off. Does it line up nicely with the other one? Hope so. Okay, looks good. Let's drill and see how we get on. We're through. Very nerve-wracking moment, I'll be honest. Let's move that out of the way. Move those out of the way. Now we get to see whether our socket fits. Fingers crossed. That sounded positive. And there we go. Excellent. So let's have a slightly closer look. There we go. All the pins in there nicely. If I take that out just for a moment, you can see the pins that I've needed to cut. So just this one over here, just inside, and then this one just in here as well. Okay. So one thing we're going to need to do is just tidy up this hole a little. Just using another drill bit here just to tidy this hole a little. And we'll do the same on the other side. What we also need to do is bare off to the copper of the board just around that new hole. The best way to do that is just going to be to scratch at it. So very carefully we'll start taking some of the lacquer off the top of this board. So you can see just here, scratched off some of the lacquer, just exposing the copper of the trace on this board. We need to do this both sides. And there you go, you can see we've got a nice bit of the trace bared off. So, not much else for it now, but to go and fit our new power socket. Make sure that's nice and level. Melt some solder down the hole. Also make sure it has really good contact onto the motherboard around the hole we've just made. Definitely going to double check that socket is level, which it isn't. So let's try popping that through again. Quick look here. A little bit of fouling on the back against that ceramic capacitor. What I might do is take that off. Let's have a quick look. Take the socket off and just get rid of that tiny little bit of plastic that's fouling the ceramic capacitor. Same way this came off, it might have to come off a second time. I think our main pins are free. There we go. Having a quick look at the problem here, it appears to be this little bit of plastic here. So we're going to remove that and then try again. Let's pop just a little bit of solder on this side just for good measure. Just so we know that's going to make good contact. Use a little bit of solder wick to tidy that up. Still getting there. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. It's not looking too bad. It's not quite as flush with the board as I'd like. Okay. So there we are. One Commodore 64 style power supply socket on a Commodore Plus 4 board. So the only thing left to do now is to plug this in and switch it on. In the video out, if I can remember which one that is. It's the far one. And then power supply into our new socket. Power supply on. Now remember, we're not expecting anything from this, we're expecting a black screen. So this is going to be a massive anticlimax. Let's pop it on and see if anything happens at all. Well, that was pretty interesting. Let's switch that off and then back on again. So you can see something's going on. If I switch it on again, the AV2 disappears from the television and we're presented with a black screen. I'm assuming if I press the reset, I was assuming the same thing would happen. Yeah, must be providing some sort of signal. Now the black screen fault is quite common with the Plus 4, so it's going to be a case of trying to work out what's not right here, and that could be difficult. One way is just to see if any of the chips are running distinctly hotter than their companions. That's very warm already. Yeah, so that's the 8501R1, so that's I think that's our TED chip. That's a bit warm. Yeah, that's warm. I believe I can feel some temperature on there, but that's a bit cooler. Again, that's probably about the same as that chip. This is a particularly imprecise way of doing things. So those four, I reckon, yeah, those four are very cold. Let's go back to these. I think these ones here are our RAM chips. RAM does go bad in old 8-bit micros from time to time. That seems to be okay. Working my way quickly around the chips again. The longer you leave these on there, the warmer they're going to get if they're not quite right. That's really quite warm down that end. See, what I should do is probably get one of those infrared thermometers. Might be helpful. Oh, that's actually really quite warm, that one. I'll have to look that up and see what that is. Now, I've got one more chip under here. I will switch this off and then see if I can prise this off somehow, very carefully. He says very carefully, hopes very carefully. There we go, that's the start of that. Fantastic. And pop it back on again. And then see if this is running warm. Do you know what? That's cold. And the thermal paste is still a little tacky. That's not too bad. Yeah. That feels quite cool. Let's pop that straight back on. Pretty sure that's there for a reason, so we'll leave that there. It's probably RF shielding, as well as that little bit of built-in heatsink. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, that chip's a little on the warm side. Okay, I say a little on the warm side. It's pretty toasty. As are both of those two. Definitely these two are running a bit hot. I'll need to do my homework. I need to look it up. It's a common fault. Hopefully I can find some good information online somewhere, and we'll get back to we'll get back to this board. But for now, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you stay safe and well, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video soon.